Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Oscar Talk number 37. Crazy week this week. Crazy busy week. Finals week, and they also choose to drop the Golden Globe nominations and the Critics' Choice nominations within 2 days of each other on the same week. So, as you can imagine, it's been a fun week for both of us. How are you, Anthony? Coping?
That's a loaded question. I feel everything everywhere all at once, which is
Exactly.
fitting.
So did the Critics' Choice ones.
Yes, and the Golden Globe. It's been a very good week for that movie, as we'll get into. But yes, I'm very excited. This is my sanity will hopefully be reclaimed within this next hour
Yes.
that we're talking.
Nothing too crazy that would take away your sanity even more, thankfully, especially from the Globes, who usually are insane. But we're going to start off with the more recent nominations, the Critics' Choice nominations, which came out earlier today. Um, it's I think went pretty well overall. Everything Everywhere All at Once led their nominations with 14 nominations. They really like that movie. I imagine that will probably win here. Um, any overall thoughts before we jump into the individual categories?
Yeah, well, so it should be noted, first off, the Critics' Choice may be a bigger contender this year as far as accessibility and building the narrative because it will have that coveted, I believe, second Sunday in January spot. The Golden Globes are going to be 2 days later, I believe, on Tuesday. So it's just important to keep in mind, these will be the first televised speeches and awards given out. And I think that's great for movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once. For Babylon, this bodes very well for Babylon with getting, I believe, the second most nominations with 12, which I believe isn't that what First Man got? I can fact check that, but I feel like this is an organization that tends to support Damien Chazelle. I think it's very important for this film because it hasn't opened yet. The tracking has come on. I think it's going to do somewhere in the high teens. It's projected. I think
Gonna
18
lose
million.
money. Is
Well, I
the
mean,
end point.
most movies this year are losing money, but
Mhm.
I think anything above a 15 is admirable for that type
Yeah,
of very hard R,
3 hours.
adult-centered 3-hour drama. I think they'd be very happy with an opening above 15 million. So, yeah, I think the Critics' Choice did a lot of great picks. There are some picks though that I was expecting them to make that they didn't do, which I think
Yeah,
we can
I
get
agree.
into.
Yeah, let's start off with Best Picture, which, speaking of which, Critics' Choice just don't care about numbers, that are just going to nominate whatever number seems right to them. There's not like a set 10 or set whatever. I think in the acting categories there is, but for some reason in Best Picture, they've nominated 11 movies here. Their nominees were Avatar: The Way of Water, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Glass Onion, RRR, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. Um,
Which that's
pretty
11,
That's
correct?
11. I would
Yeah.
imagine 10 of these 11 will probably end up being our best picture lineup. I would think so.
Yes, I agree. And I think,
Between RR and Glass Onion for the last spot.
I mean, the only other one that I think could potentially is The Woman King, because that got
Maybe.
a Best Director nomination from the
That
Critics'
would need
Choice,
to do very well at the SAGs.
which
Look at
it could. I
Ensemble.
could see it getting an ensemble and potentially a Viola Davis nom.
Yeah.
Um, Its potential, I do think we have a firm nine, I would say.
Oh, clear nine. Yeah. Just like in 2019, I believe, when there was a clear nine.
There was a
And they
clear nine.
nominated all nine of them. And I think I don't, some people say Knives Out was the number 10 that year. I think it was Two Popes, but
Oh, I think it was
Knives
the
Out.
farewell.
I don't know about that. That didn't get any nominations.
That's true. I feel like it was maybe the conjecture that it was the farewell, but it did, it won a Golden Globe for Aquafina, so it did
It
have
did.
some say. That's true though. It didn't have any other. I think it was everybody thought it was going to be 10 before the nominations when we were like Aquafina's going to get
Yeah.
in screenplay, and
Yeah.
then you're probably right. In
Underperformed.
actuality, it was probably the Two Popes or um Knives Out potentially. It did get a
Maybe.
screenplay nomination, but
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think of RRR? Do you think that actually could go all the way? Because
I think it can
I
happen.
I just feel like
I've
it's
been I've
too
been
crazy.
doubtful. I've been doubtful beforehand because it's not gonna contend in the international category. But I mean the buzz is just it's building, and we'll talk about later. Rajamouli getting honored as best director, either best director and or runner up in both the New York Films Critics Association or Circle or whatever, and LAFCA, I think is a big deal. I did well at the Globes, It's getting a lot, and the critics, it seems like if the critics are supporting an international film this year, it's not Decision to Leave, it's not All Quiet on the Western Front, it's not Bardo, it is RRR. I think with
That
this
is true.
organization,
It's definitely the international
yeah,
feature
and I
contender.
think if there's going to be an international director who gets in, I think it will be Rajamouli. I think Decision to Leave has just I think it needed critic support to really boost up in there, and I don't think that's happened because most of the critics have given their nominations at this point.
Yeah. I should be clear, it's not in international feature. India did not submit it, but I think
Yeah.
it's the international feature that you're going to see pop up in like other categories, like best original song, maybe
Yeah,
best director.
can still contend in all the other categories. Yeah,
I think I don't know because like we definitely have Everything Everywhere All at Once. We definitely have Top Gun Maverick, and I would say we definitely have Avatar: The Way of Water. Woman
and
King,
Elvis.
true, but I'm just talking about we have three action movies,
Oh,
and now we have maybe The Woman King, and maybe RR. Like that seems like so many. And then that's not, yes, you count Elvis. We have now a big blockbuster contender. This seems like we've been saying since the beginning of this season, this is going to be a very studio friendly, blockbuster friendly award show. But I don't know. I mean, I would love it for the precedent that it would set, but I wonder if RRR is succeeding because there are 11 spots or because there are 10 best director spots. It's
yeah,
managing to
that's
pop up
that
because
10
it's in that
number is just
lower
insane.
echelon. Yeah,
I don't know
so we'll see.
why. We'll get
Anything's
to that in a
possible.
second.
It is on Netflix, which I think helps it as far
Yeah,
as people actually being able
it's
to
very
see
accessible.
I think After Sun was hurt. I thought it maybe could have built something, but I can't.
A24 just
I live in California, and it hasn't been played
you
in
haven't been able to
any.
see it. Oh, if
No,
I've
I
been able to see it and you haven't, wow, my theater played it.
ridiculous. I've not seen it at any theater show up, and I'm in California. Like
Yeah,
a lot of movies show up.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I don't understand
Yeah.
what's happening with that movie, especially also because Paul Mescal really didn't get any of the love we thought he was going to get. It has all been Colin Farrell,
Well,
everywhere.
Paul Mescal, we'll get to it later. He did get a nomination today, but finishing off on RRR, I think this organization, the Critics' Choice, have also showed today that the movie doesn't necessarily need to contend in categories like, I don't know, outside categories. Like it doesn't need to get a visual effects nomination or like a sound nomination or whatever to contend into picture. I think there's a lot of love for it. I mean, Adam McKay was tweeting about it needing to get into Best Picture. So I do think that they will have to have seen it, and I'm not sure if it will be everyone in the Academy's taste, but you don't have the movies to get into Best Picture. It doesn't have to be everyone's taste. That's more about winning Best Picture. You have to have a strong group of support to get into picture. I think that's possible for this, especially as the Academy gets more international by each year.
I think what helps it is that it's such a unique film, and I think for people who really want the international contingent, but I'm not just saying that it's only the international contingent that wants to support international films. I'm sure there's a lot of people of the Hollywood industry that see an opportunity to award such a unique film, and it's a musical, it's an action movie, it's a bromance, it has so many genres that I think it's similar to Everything Everywhere All at Once in its DNA. I do wonder, this would take forever to calculate, but I wonder if this is going to be, despite the fact there are 10 nominees, the longest running time for Best Picture nominees, because you have Babylon,
Yeah,
Avatar:
wow.
The Way of Water, and if RRR gets in there, that's three-hour movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's a
crazy.
long. Tar is a good 2.5+
Ours
hours.
241, I think. Yeah.
Fablemans isn't short.
Fablemans is
Neither is
230.
Elvis.
Elvis is 235 or 238. Yeah, it's a lot of long movies. And
Top Gun
granted,
Maverick is long. Yeah.
most of them is Top Gun Maverick is one of the shorter ones at like 216.
Yeah.
And granted, most of those movies use their running time well, but it's just I think
Yeah.
it's interesting that this week we return to the Hollywood epic. I feel like that's how this year will be characterized in the future,
Yeah.
which is fitting after the pandemic.
I agree. So before we move on to actor, there is a solid 9, I think we both agree on, in picture that is represented here. What is your 10 right now in Best Picture?
It's tough. It's really tough.
I've got Glass Onion. I'm not confident about it, but I think Netflix usually gets a movie in there, and that's their best shot. Unless you count RRR as a Netflix movie.
They do usually get, and I feel like I wonder. I feel like the sentiment is still strong on Glass Onion. You know, it did play in theaters for a week. It'll get a boost when it's on Netflix. Um, I just don't know what other nominations, like what is it going, how is it going to
Supporting
improve
actress and
on the first?
screenplay.
It'll get screenplay like the first one. I mean, the Globes missed out. I will not say the S word on
Yeah.
Janelle Monáe. But to be honest, I think Nina Hoss is falling, unfortunately. I don't
Yeah.
you have to pull a
I
Jesse
kicked her
Plemons
out.
out. So maybe Janelle Monáe can take that fifth spot. It's possible. Let's see what happens when the movie opens on Netflix on Christmas, and let's see what the sentiment is. It could get a second wave right at the right moment, but I do feel that like the Globe's not going for Janelle Monáe when they went for Ana de Armas, but I also think that was poor category placement. They should have put her in Best Actress, Musical or Comedy, and then
They
just
should have, yeah.
her for the Oscars because Ana de Armas was in that category, and I mean I don't know, they're similar as far as screen time. Um, yeah, it's interesting. That it could be the number 10. I mean, I currently, because of its overperformance, I feel at the Golden Globes, I currently have Triangle of Sadness in
That would
there
be the other one I'm considering.
because
One
I
of the
also
Eat the Rich movies.
yes, because I think that could be your fifth in screenplay, potentially. So, and I see Ruben Ostlund and Thomas Vinterberg is
Dolly
kind of
DeLeon.
yeah, and then Dolly De Leon could get in there. So like there are places Triangle of Sadness could pop up. It's
Supporting
doing well.
actress is like a core part of this entire season. It's crazy.
Yes, it is. So,
Important.
but I also think I I will venture to say, and I wanted, you know, we haven't seen this movie, so you know we're going to talk about it without having seen it. But I do think I could see a world where Triangle of Sadness and Glass Onion gets in, and maybe Women Talking misses
No,
out. You know,
that is not going to happen. No.
I
We'll get
don't
to women talking and
we'll
it
talk
snubs in
about
a
it.
second, but you know,
I
that
don't think
I
we
do
should
not see that
in the same way that everybody was like, "Oh, being the Ricardos, it's getting in," you know. And I'm not equating the movies, but I think Women Talking has been missing out on a lot of key places, and I'm worried. I'm worried
I'm
about
worried too. Yeah, I think it's still gonna
especially
happen though.
especially if Glass Onion and Triangle of Sadness just have more support in other places, you know. So who
Yeah.
knows?
We'll see. Best actor. 6 spots here: Austin Butler, Elvis, Tom Cruise, Top Gun Maverick, Colin Farrell, Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser, The Whale, Paul Mescal, After Sun, and Bill Nighy for Living. I think 5 of these 6 will be your Oscar nominee. It's Cruise versus Mescal for the last spot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I also have Calva potentially. He got a Golden Globe nomination. I think when Babylon opens, he may benefit, but also it's a very, um, it's understated. It's the most understated part of the movie. Is his performance. So he might get lost in the shuffle. It depends on how positive they are on Babylon. So, I mean, don't count out Tom Cruise, but at the same time, it does seem we. I mean, the fact that
If he misses SAG, he's done.
Yeah, I might agree with that. Yeah, it's the fact that the critics went for him speaks volumes. And I think if you're saying, well, he didn't get a Golden Globe nomination, I think
there's a little bit of
there was a little
relationship issues there.
Yeah. So I think we can chalk it up to that because they did nominate it for Best Picture, the Golden Top Gun. So I think Tom Cruise is still in it, but we'll see. We'll see. I do because I don't think Paul Mescal. I think After Sun is fading. I don't think it's getting.
I think it's going to do well at the BAFTAs. Well, the BAFTAs will redeem it, in my opinion.
Hopefully, you're right.
It's a great movie. Great movie. And he's great in it. Win here. I think win here is between Farrell and Fraser, in my opinion. I don't think, sadly, Butler will win everything.
Oh, else. I was like, what universe am I living in where Jack isn't picking else?
Butler is not going to win. I mean, maybe he could win here, but I don't know. The critics groups are really going for Farrell.
I think Christian Bale won here.
Year. That would make sense. But Butler will get SAG and Globes, and I think those are more important.
Colin Farrell won for In Bruges. Oh, but they're in different categories, aren't they? Right?
Where?
Colin Farrell's in comedy.
In Bruges?
No, Colin Farrell for Banshees is in comedy or musical.
At the Globes, yeah.
So they'll
also win at the Globes.
They'll both win. And then it's just a question of where to SAG lean. I mean, don't count out Colin Farrell. I think a lot of people, that movie just debuted on HBO Max. And for those people who still have it, they could fall in love with that movie. It's a great movie.
He's good in it, yeah.
And I think
I'd argue the third best performance in the movie, but you know.
That's it. I mean, he's great. I mean,
Everyone's great.
he's currently my pick for who I would vote for best actor. I thought he was that. There's a beauty in how innocent he is. That I really loved how then that darkness
Plays
grew.
the downfall.
But yeah, I honestly think that if this is Butler or Farrell, it'll be one of the better performances to win this category of late. So
Outside of Hopkins, yeah.
yes. So yeah, it's interesting. We should mention, excuse the pun, but the elephant in the room, which is Brendan Fraser, which many people still think is winning. I currently have
I
him.
don't know. I think, yeah. I would, yeah. Bill Nighy. You have Bill Nighy above him too?
Yeah.
Nighy is pretty secure. Yeah. And that also secured. I mean, they're pretty equal because they both also got screenplay here. So yeah. And I think Nighy will probably win the BAFTA. I'm not sure if Fraser is going to win anything. So.
I think he's getting nominated. I don't think it's a world where Brendan
Those
Fraser,
four are going to get nominated.
but I really think that this. I mean, to be fair, it had a very good per theater average this opening weekend. So it could be a popular.
Is that going to continue as it expands?
We'll see. We'll see. It's not a great Christmas movie.
No.
So it's interesting, but I definitely think Butler. I think Butler is taking a lot of attention away from Fraser, because that's the showy performance that's really clicking in a best picture contender. And then Farrell is taking the other angle that Fraser had, which is this long overdue actor narrative. Colin Farrell, each one of them has the like, we thought that Fraser had both of those things locked up, but then one actor has one and one actor has the other. And so then his performance, which is in a more polarizing movie, is now not going to go all the way. The fact that he probably will not win the Globe is going to hurt him. And then Critics' Choice, I don't know. The critics have been more mixed on that movie, so I don't think he's going to benefit there. So SAG would really need to come in for him to pull off a win, but I don't think that's going to happen. It could though.
I think both those. I think Banshees and Elvis will be, appeal more to SAG voters and be seen by more SAG voters. Yeah. So
yeah. They both have better chances of getting their ensembles nominated too over The Whale. I feel. So. It's interesting. It's definitely but I'm looking forward to The Whale. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, soon coming. Well, it is out, but I'll see it soon. Best Actress. This is a pretty easy 6. I like predicting the Critics' Choice Awards because they always nominate so many people. It's like I got it right, but it's not too hard. Best Actress: Cate Blanchett, Tar; Viola Davis, The Woman King; Daniel Deadwyler, Till; Margot Robbie, Babylon; Michelle Williams, The Fabelmans; Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere at Once.
I mean, these are your 6.
Yeah, 5 of these 6 will be nominated, same as actor. But who gets that last spot?
I mean, it's interesting because I feel that
Deadwyler will be nominated. Do not doubt her.
But I don't know, because Daniel Deadwyler feels like Awkwafina to me. She feels like she's in a movie that stands apart, that is critically lauded, but if Woman King is definitely a bigger contender overall in the crafts and in Best Picture than Till is. And so, and Viola Davis is I was about to say 2-time Oscar winner because I forgot she lost to Ma Rainey, but she's an Oscar winner and she's a multiple nominee. So if there's love for that movie, if there's love within the actors branch at SAG, I could see a world where she doesn't get in. I feel Daniel Deadwyler missing the Globe.
She's vulnerable. There's a safe 3, and I think those last 2 are being fought for over 3 actresses with.
And I don't know. I feel very strongly with the top 4. Having seen Babylon, I don't know how you ignore Margot Robbie. Like she'll
probably get in.
So and it's unfortunate that it's like 2019, you have a bunch of these women of color having to fight for that last spot, but that just seems to be what this category is doing. I feel like Michelle Yeoh, Cate Blanchett, Michelle Williams, they're locked. They're in. There's no debate. So, except if Oscars pull a Lakeith Stanfield and put Michelle Williams in support.
Viola Davis should also be in supporting, if we're being honest. Uso is the lead of that movie.
Listen, I'm not gonna. It changes on the day. When we do, I'm interested when we do our picks as far as what we would nominate, where we're gonna put all these women.
It's insane. Yeah, we'll have to make our own rules, but
yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting. I actually think though we're gonna talk about the rise of Everything Everywhere. I wonder if the rise of Everything Everywhere All at Once overall helps Michelle Yeoh or makes people want to honor either Tar or the Fablemans in this category because they have less opportunities to do it in other categories. I wonder what happens here because all three of them,
Yeah.
I think, are truly like it should be a three-way tie in the perfect world. I mean, they're
I
all
don't think Michelle
brilliant.
Williams has a chance of winning, in my opinion.
I think don't discount that she will
Maybe
be the most
1%.
nominated person in the category who has not
I
won.
don't think
And
they
I think
care about that. I don't think they like
I
look
think
at the
that
actresses and are like, oh, Kate Blanchett, she's got 6 and 2 wins.
wasn't
Michelle
Jessica
Williams.
Chastain the most nominated person in the category last year who had never won an
That
Oscar?
was one of many factors. I don't think that was the sole factor. I think it was
I
the
know, but
showiest performance.
I do think there's a love for Michelle Williams, and I
Oh,
also
there
would
is, yeah.
argue out of these five or six, she's playing the least confrontational performance.
It's a divisive performance, at least amongst critics. She won't win here because it's divisive amongst critics.
No, I don't think she'll win here. I don't. The Fablemans
Where
is going
would
to be
she
an
win?
industry player. It's not going to be a critics player.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't see a place where she could win.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that's still I'm holding because I'm like at this point, I'm like, where does Fablemans? I feel like unless it becomes the Irishman and the Trial of the Chicago Seven of
It
the
could.
season, where it doesn't win anything. But I feel like it should win something. And this, maybe pulls a favorite. I'm telling you, I think this could pull a favorite where it wins none of the things we thought it was going to win, and then it pulls out a surprise Best Actress win from somebody we wanted to see in supporting. So
I don't know.
who knows? Who knows?
Best supporting actor. Speaking of Fablemans, both the Fablemans boys got in. Paul Dano and Judd Hirsch, along with Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan, and Ke Kwan and Brian Tyree Henry, the best nomination of them all. He will be nominated at our personal awards, just advance notice. Yeah, this is a good lineup. It's nothing too crazy missing, I would say.
Brad Pitt's not here, correct?
Yeah, that's
The
not
only
gonna happen though.
He's the only contender who's not here. He's great in the movie. I think it's probably my favorite performance I've seen of him. But
Ever?
yeah, I thought he
Oh
was
wow.
heartbreaking and hilarious, and it's fantastic. So I mean, don't count him out. Because
No.
it could be a situation like last year where I forget who
J.K.
was the
Simmons.
six, but like J.K. Simmons, Oscar winner, who recently won the category, then just gets the support because they just recognize him.
Who
And
would he
yes,
kick out though?
I mean potentially Barry Keoghan, but he seems to be very popular. This is the question, and
That's the best performance in that movie.
let's get into this now. I don't think we live in a world where three movies get two.
No, only one of
Acting.
the Fablemans boys is getting in, and it's going to be
Really,
Judd Hirsch.
really, you think he's stronger?
Yeah, I don't see anyone mentioning Paul Dano at all, and everyone mentions Judd Hirsch. And no one thought he was low in Gold Derby odds here. Most people didn't think he was getting nominated here. He got
I don't
nominated.
know. I feel like you can't. I mean, as the personal as we've talked about when we reviewed the movie, I think Paul Dano, that movie doesn't work without him. So I really don't see a world where you can. I don't think you should nominate Michelle Williams and not Paul Dano. And I think Paul Dano had the tougher role in some regards and less screen time to execute it. But Judd Hirsch,
He's
his
good in the movie.
is he's iconic. He's memorable, and it's a wonderful performance. But yeah, so so how would you rank it as like, what do you think is most likely to happen and least likely as far as
And supporting actor.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Sue both getting in, Brendan Gleeson and Barry Keoghan both getting in, and then Paul Dano and Judd Hirsch both getting in.
Have we just completely no? There's not going to be two women talking actresses and supporting
Oh, and women
actors.
talking, yes. Oh my God.
That would
See?
be last. Sadly, I think. Barry Keoghan and Brendan Gleeson is happening. That's number one. That's going to be the only supporting double nomination. Then I would say The Fablemans is number two. Then I would honestly say Women Talking and then Everything Ever All at Once. I just don't think they're gonna.
You think Stephanie really has that low a chance?
I just don't think they're gonna nominate that movie twice in that category.
So we both agree that Jamie Lee Curtis is the stronger contender.
Yeah, I also don't think she's gonna get nominated though.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
She got a
Maybe
Critics'
it's
Choice
my
Award,
personal.
right?
She did. Yeah, she got Critics' Choice and Golden Globes, so she's doing well.
She'll
I
probably
don't
get
know.
SAG, right? Jamie Lee Curtis will probably get SAG.
Probably. I mean, it's a competitive category. She could miss, but
You think she's the Lady Gaga? She's gonna get all the precursors and then lose out at the last minute.
exactly. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I know they nominate weird performances before, like we just mentioned, J.K. Simmons, like interesting nomination choice. Um, I just doesn't seem like something that's gonna happen to me.
Yeah, I don't know because I feel like we're edging around the topic, but I feel like everything
Oh, should we
everywhere.
just let's just say the supporting actress
Yeah,
nominations.
let's get into it. Yeah.
The nominations are Angela Bassett, Wakanda for or Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Jessie Buckley, Woman Talking, not Claire Foy, Carrie Condon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephanie Sue for Everything Ever All at Once, and Janelle Monáe for Glass Onion. Um, yeah, I mean, you've had Angela Bassett at #1 for a while, so you get bragging rights because now everyone's adding her to their supporting actress nominations because she's got Golden Globes, she's got Critics' Choice, she'll get SAG, and she'll get the Oscar.
Because this is the thing. Once we saw the movie, and I love this movie, I found it to be very profound to me, but I know it's, not everybody's cup of tea and not everybody loves a good Marvel movie. So I understand that. But I think this was then going to be, and Disney was smart because every
Look at
FYC,
those FYC ads. Yeah.
they just knew this was it. Go all in on this. And this would be a historic win, I feel, for Angela Bassett and her legacy and her
Yeah.
career. And I think it would be a fitting way to honor the cast and what the true, because I truly feel Ryan Coogler in the cast. That's what this movie is worthy of praise for. So I think she represents them well. So let's talk about supporting actress, our favorite category.
I love it.
I currently feel that the three people that are going to get Golden Globe, Critics' Choice, and SAG nominations are Angela Bassett, Carrie Condon, and Jamie Lee Curtis, which makes
Yeah.
me think all three of those are getting Oscar nominations.
Probably. I
Okay.
say Condon and Bassett for sure. Condon is just going to get it everywhere. I would look out for her as a potential winner. I know she doesn't have a lot of like gravitas within the industry because she's not like a big name, but I think if they're going to honor Banshees outside of original screenplay, that's probably its best bet.
Well, because I think the thing that hurts Angela Bassett from winning is just that if Jamie Lee Curtis also gets in, they have the same narrative.
And it helps. We always say it helps in every acting category when your movie's in picture. That always just boosts you up more. And most of the supporting actress winners recently, their movies have been in picture.
I
Black
believe.
Panther will not be in picture. It's
Yes,
been a while since the supporting actress winner was not in picture.
I, Tanya. No, if Bill Street could talk. If Bill Street could talk.
Oh no, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, the stat that we ran a couple of weeks ago is that this is really the only win for the film since I think like 2013 with Lupita Nyong'o in 12 Years a Slave. So Banshees could win Best Actor, could win Best Screenplay, though I think it's probably going to have
win
enough
screenplay. I think.
You think Banshees will win Screenplay?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I think Everything Everywhere will win a fight. I think we could see a Parasite win where
whatever wins screenplay that night, original screenplay, will probably win Best Picture.
That might be true. Yes.
So it's going to be a hot category.
So, Everything Everywhere is definitely not only winning one category. So Angela Bassett could be your one nominee. She's going to have to pull off what Ryan Coogler tried to do for Sylvester Stallone. But she could do it. I think, let's see her give one speech. Let's see her.
She'd have to win. I think her giving a speech would very much help her chances at the Oscars win-wise, but I'm not sure where she would win.
SAG is the voting. If she wins SAG, that
is where she would win. Yeah. I could see that too, because who the hell is going to win this category? Who knows?
I mean, listen, I don't think you should count out Jamie Lee Curtis. She is a respected
win
with. I think it's crazy to think a world where, because I know some people are picking Michelle Yeoh, a world where this wins 3 acting wins. I know it's crazy, but I mean, this is.
But imagine a world where Jamie Lee Curtis wins for this movie and Michelle Yeoh doesn't. I don't want to live in that world.
It's crazy. I don't want to live it. But hey, maybe they all win. Maybe it's a historic night.
All respect to Jamie Lee Curtis, amazing actress. I'm happy that you're getting some awards love. I just don't think this is it.
I just don't think that if she wins the Globe, what I think you're predicting as well, correct?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
She wins the Globe and she's able to pull off a SAG win. I mean, that's a good package going.
I don't think she's going to win SAG. You just said Bassett is going to win SAG.
I do, but I'm not counting out. Listen, anything can happen. we all thought Bradley Cooper was going to win Best Actor, and then Rami Malek wins SAG, and freaking all hell breaks loose. So I'm just SAG is a major influence. So I don't think you should, because you're right, Angela Bassett. She will be the one of these three that her movie's not in picture, which could hurt her.
Yeah.
But I still think her star power carries her own weight.
It does. It does.
Yeah,
for sure. Other categories, Critics' Choice we can quickly touch on. Young Actor, Actress, Frankie Coiro, After Sun, Jalen Hall, Till, Gabriella Bell, The Fablemans, Bella Ramsey, Catherine Called Banks Rapida, Armageddon Time, and Sadie Sink for The Whale. It's probably between Corio and LaBelle, I would guess.
Yeah.
Both of which who give great performances. LaBelle gives the best performance in The Fablemans, if we're being honest.
I can't. It's I mean, it's a three-way tie.
It's not very close for me personally, but you know,
I love this movie way more than you did, I think, though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I like the movie a lot. I don't know if I'd say a lot. I like the movie, but Michelle Williams has some good moments in it, some questionable moments.
I'm starting therapy.
Yeah, yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
Spoiler
sorry.
alert. No, I don't think that's a spoiler really. Best acting ensemble: Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Ever All at Once, The Fablemans, Glass Onion, The Woman King, Woman Talking.
I think
pretty clear.
Your top four, I think, are definitely getting there, and then Women King and Women Talking are going to fight for that fifth spot. And
I would say
greener availability.
Out of this six, when you're looking at SAG ensemble, I would say the one that misses is Banshees of Inisherin. That seems like a Marriage Story, Power of the Dog situation where there's like 4 clear acting nominations that they're going to nominate individually that they just don't nominate the ensemble.
Or it's a Boyhood situation where they really like the movie, and even though Patricia Arquette gets nominated and Ethan Hawke gets nominated, and that's like half the ensemble, they still get in because the movie's so beloved.
But they're going to nominate everyone. They're going to nominate Barry. They're going to nominate Carrie. They're going to nominate Brendan and Colin. And who else? I mean, there are other supporting characters in the movie, but that's pretty much your ensemble.
But this is the question with SAG, is that if they keep voting, in the SAG nom-com, they go, okay, this category, this category, this category, this category. It's then in your head that when you're voting for acting ensemble, you're like, why not?
Or you're like, I just nominated it for everyone in the cast. Why do I need to nominate this ensemble?
Yeah. I mean, it's true. It just depends. I agree with you. I think, if Barry gets in, then maybe you're right. If Barry doesn't get in, then I think maybe it has a better chance.
Yeah. I don't think Barry's going to miss anywhere. I think there's a lot of love for him.
Yeah. Good. He's a great actor.
Very good.
Nominated for the Batman.
I don't know about that. Maybe Paul Dano. But
Paul Dano was great. I mean, in a perfect world, if Colin Farrell can tie for After Yang and Banshees, and I think we can tie Paul Dano for Fablemans. And
Colin Farrell also in the Batman.
That's true. He had a good year.
Original screenplay: Tar, Everything Ever All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, The Fablemans, and After Sun. Great choice. Probably won't carry over at the Oscars, but I love that choice personally. It's probably between Triangle and I don't know what else would contend for that last, but at the Oscars, probably Triangle.
Triangle, Decision to Leave, After Sun. Those are your picks.
Yeah. Adapted screenplay: The Whale, Living, Glass Onion, She Said, Women Talking. Adapted screenplay is just barren. What, like The Whale and Living? The Whale, Living, Glass Onion, She Said, Women Talking. Like 2 of those maximum are getting into picture. The other 3 aren't.
So do we see a world where She Said only gets 1 nomination and it's for its screenplay?
Yeah. I mean, it's either screenplay or screenplay and supporting actress. It's not going to get anything else. Maybe score if they just love Bertel, but I don't think that's going to happen.
They don't. Yeah. They obviously didn't love him because the year that everybody thought he was finally going to win for He Could Talk in Clem.
Yeah. Maybe they've watched Succession since then and they've changed their mind.
So let's have the conversation
about Women Talking.
What is your number 1 right now?
Oh, win-wise?
Yeah, because my opinion changed this week.
I'll probably say Everything Everywhere All at Once. or Banshees. One of those two. Like I said, whatever wins original screenplay.
It's an interesting correlation.
You usually win screenplay, one of those two categories, if you win picture.
Coda won.
Nomadland didn't,
Land didn't.
but Parasite, Green
Parasite
Book,
did. Green
Shape
Book
of Water
did.
didn't.
Shape of Water didn't.
It's
Moonlight
hit or
did.
miss.
Yeah, it's about 50-50.
Spotlight did.
Spotlight did. Birdman
I
did.
think Birdman did. Yeah.
Obviously, the Slave did not. I don't think it did.
I can't remember that far back now.
I think that was her and something else. We can go back a decade. That's impressive.
Yeah, I think a decade's enough.
Here's the thing. We've been saying this entire season that Everything Everywhere has a big hurdle as far as people getting through the movie. This week, the fact that because Golden Globes and Critics' Choice are very different voting bodies, and the fact that both went
they're both critics
heavily for it is a good sign. The fact that it led Critics' Choice and that it's following in second in the Golden Globes, and it's getting like 3 or 4 acting noms, it's getting director, like they're in for director. I think they could win director.
Yeah. We've been doubting them, but yeah, I think they're in there. Sadly, maybe taking Sarah Polley.
Yeah, how do you? It's such an unquantifiable movie, but it has that passion that
they're charismatic too. When they campaign, they're charismatic too.
And it's a box office hit. That helps. I'm telling you, it helps.
Yeah. So is that your number one in picture?
For now, it is.
For now. Okay. I'm between that and Banshees. I still haven't made up my mind, but yeah, I think it's between those two. I think The Fabelmans could benefit if it suddenly loses the front runner status to Everything Ever All at Once from being an underdog and then sneaking back up. But
so you see it as a spotlight in that?
Maybe, like, but if it's gonna win, it's only gonna win picture and director, probably. What else would it win?
I mean, I think actress is in play. I know you want to doubt it, but I think she could be that sneaky. If Marissa Tomei could win, anything can happen. This is a category where upsets happen regularly. I mean, you weren't predicting Frances McDormand. That was a big surprise. We weren't predicting Olivia Colman. Jessica Chastain was a late breaking thing. I'm just saying this category tends not to go the way we're thinking mid-December.
True. That is true.
And I think that the argument that if Everything Everywhere is getting picture, it could get screenplay, it could get director, it could get one of the crafts. And it comes down to supporting actor. It could, if it comes down to we can honor Tar or The Fabelmans here and only here, then maybe they choose to do that. Or Michelle Yeoh. This could be a huge night for Everything Everywhere All at Once because again, it seems as if people are really responding to it in a way that we wanted them to, but we didn't know if they would.
I'd also have as your second rung of top contenders outside of those 3 in picture, Tar would be my number 4. I think people are underestimating that. There's a lot of love for that movie. I think it's very well crafted. I think lots of the artsier side. I could see a lot of international voters voting for that movie.
That could sneak into screenplay.
Tar.
I feel that could sneak. I could see it as a father type of win. That it's a quieter kind of movie that holds a lot of gravitas, and they want to honor Todd Field. I could see a night where Cate Blanchett wins and Todd Field wins. And
I could see that too.
So it's possible. It's how are they gonna separate the love? Are they gonna spread the love? Or are they going to go all in on Everything Everywhere? And I think the reason, listen, we're being positive on this because it's actually getting these big numbers. SAG, I think it will do quite well. So
could win ensemble at SAG.
Yeah. If it wins ensemble
at SAG, it probably will. Because Women Talking was its biggest competitor, and that's just losing steam.
So what a shame. It's just completely just.
Who knows? It hasn't released yet, so maybe it could gain some back. But I don't.
You think in a marketplace that Avatar and Babylon and now titled Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
That's just not happening.
Yeah, and Puss in Boots. You really think Woman Talking is going to be a box office contender? It's I don't think it'll make money. It seems it's going to follow She Said.
It didn't cost $32 million, so that's a big difference. It's an indie movie.
Yeah,
but I do. I don't think though. I don't mean box office wise. I think it just releasing and people talking about it positively could help it. But not looking too good.
I think
The
what
last,
I do think just really quick on the women
yeah,
talking, I think what ended up hurting them, because listen, the fact that it's a female-led movie, that's not gonna, when we've seen movies like that fall, it could have been a Little Women. It could have,
I think it is this year's Little Women. Little Women underperformed at the Globes, and
that's
later when
true.
it released in December,
Maybe
and get
the Greta Gerwig
stronger
high
reception.
makes you think, and Emma Watson, Saoirse Ronan. I think I will bet that Little Women will have a higher gross than Women Talking.
Oh, absolutely. Little Women made a lot of money.
Yeah. So, but I feel that what ended up hurting them the most is confusion on who's in what category, which I think hurt The Departed in 2006, where I think it only got like maybe one or two acting noms. So like all the men, like Jack Nicholson and Leonardo DiCaprio, like everybody was confused, and then it hurt the
Mark
movie.
Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Vera
He was the
Farmiga
only one
nominated.
out of the actors. Yeah.
I will verify that. But this is why you got to have a strong, like, you got to do your Michelle Williams. You got to stake your flag, and you got to say, this is what category I'm in. Because then it makes people squarely focus on that. When you're ebbing and flowing and you're like Jessie Buckley, Rooney Mara, Claire Foy,
They needed to
then
pick between those two
yeah,
in supporting
then you're
actors.
just
So you
going to
can't
forget.
push them both because people have different favorites. It seems pretty split between who's favorite. So you need to pick one. Seems like they were picking Foy, but Buckley's getting more nominations. So it's just neither of them could get nominated. And that movie should, because Ben Whishaw not happening anymore. That movie could just not get any acting nominations.
I correct myself. Vera Farmiga was not nominated. It was only Mark Wahlberg. So further my point. But yeah, and then Ben Whishaw, I was kind of predicting a Nicholas Hoult track, which is the women's picture means that they're not going to nominate the sole male figure like Nicholas Hoult in The Favorite. I think that that just seemed to be what happened. You need to be like a Brad Pitt to be able to get that type of nomination. But I am happy though that Tom Hanks doesn't seem to be materializing for Elvis. Nothing against Mr. Hanks.
Wait until SAG. SAG hasn't happened.
It did it the Globe. I want to just say the Daniel Deadweiler's not. I almost said the word.
We haven't gotten to the Globes yet.
I know.
We have one more category of Critics' Choice, and then we can go on to the Globes.
I will click it.
No one knows what happened at the Globes yet. Best Director. They gave us 10 whole nominations here, so they just didn't want to make anyone mad, I guess.
Which should happen. I'm sorry. That if we have 10 Best Pictures, I think there should be 10 Best Directors. Sorry.
I would leave it in the middle, 7. Nice in the
middle. 7? What's 7? What is this, the Emmys?
Yeah, 7. 10 is like
you have 10 lead performances, 10 supporting performances, 10 screenplays, 10 Best Pictures. There should be 10 Best Directors.
Oh, we only have 10 Best Pictures. There's no 10 Best Supporting, 10 Best.
No, there are 10 supporting performances between the men and the women. 10.
Oh, that's how you think they should do it.
There are 10 screenplays among adapted and original. There should be 10 directors. And that's how you get S.S. Rajamouli and Gina Prince Bythewood and Sarah Polley. That's how you get diversity among the best director lineups.
That's just going to be the directors of the Best Picture movies.
I mean, that's fine. But just look at the Golden Globes.
I like a little competition.
Critics' Choice.
Not giving out participation awards,
I mean, listen, it's to each their own. But I think if you want more diverse, like the fact that if Gina Prince Bythewood could potentially call herself a Best Director nominee if you had 10 slots.
Maybe. Let's see. Here they nominated James Cameron, Avatar: The Way of Water, Damien Chazelle, Babylon, Todd Field, Tar, Baz Luhrmann for Elvis, the Daniels for Everything Ever All at Once, Martin McDonagh for Banshees and Inisherin, Sarah Polley, Women Talking, Gina Prince Bythewood, The Woman King, S.S. Rajamouli, RRR, and Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Yeah, pretty good lineup. I can't really say anything missed per se because they have a whole extra 5 spots here. So
I am getting dangerously close to just predicting the Golden Globe 5 and putting Baz Luhrmann in there.
He's got now Critics' Choice and Golden Globes. If he gets in at SAG, that will. Oh wait, no, they don't do that at SAG. Never mind. I don't know why.
If he gets in SAG, he's definitely that'll be a major win for Baz Luhrmann.
SAG, he gets into Best Actor. Well, I was thinking of some precursor, but I don't know. Who knows?
DGA. If he gets DGA.
DGA, that's what it is. Yes. We were talking about SAG. Yeah, the Directors Guild. He won't get.
They exist. They're a thing.
Yeah. 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 My five in director would be Spielberg, the Daniels, McDonough, Field, and probably Cameron.
That's the five I have now, but I'm willing to drop Field for
Lerman.
Lerman. If Elvis really, because Elvis is going to
Sarah
be a
Polley.
total craft player. Poor Sarah Polley. It's
I
just,
mean, Greta Gerwig missed. This very much feels like Little Women to me.
yeah. But again, I think Little Women Little Women ended up only winning one Oscar, and it was costume design, which I don't think is going to happen.
Should have won adapted screenplay. This will win adapted screenplay, unless Glass Onion is like coming for it.
If Glass Onion gets a Best Picture nomination, I think that could
Both
win.
of them will get Best Picture nominations.
Potentially.
And both will probably get Best Supporting Actress.
I don't know. I guess Women Talking wins, but that seems so odd that this adapted screenplays just seems so ridiculous because Glass Onion shouldn't be an adapted screenplay. It's adapted on what, the character of Benoit Blanc? Ridiculous. And then Women Talking, like, and then my fifth spot, I still have Top Gun Maverick because I'm like, what the hell are they gonna put in this category?
Yeah, I had Pinocchio in there, but Pinocchio's just done. I think it missed all the places it needed to get. You'll still get not
effects on the. It didn't get the shortlist on visual.
It's not even
effects.
shortlisted. I know, which is insane. I had that in my predicted 5. I think it'll still get probably score, song, maybe it's probably song.
It'll have animated. The Coco route, get both music categories and animated feature.
It'll be like what Encanto did last year. It got score, it got song, and it got animated.
That's right. Encanto did that too.
Or I think Soul. I don't think Soul got song, but it got score and it got animated.
Yeah. But, so are you predicting it to win score?
No.
Oh, okay. What do you have winning score?
I have Hilder winning for Women Talking still.
So you think a bottom 2 Best Picture contender is going to win 2 Academy Awards? Meanwhile, The Fabelmans, you're struggling to give it 1.
Yeah, and John Williams might not even qualify for best score here if we're being honest.
I mean, didn't they make their qualifications? Because Doja Cat's Vegas was ineligible. Tar is ineligible.
Yeah, Tar is ineligible.
So I feel like if he was ineligible, we would have found out.
It's just he's not going to win for this. This is like.
No, I'm not saying he. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Oh, do you have Justin Hurwitz?
Do you think the fact that The Fabelmans is like a top 3 contender and that's struggling to give it 1 Oscar? Meanwhile, you think Women Talking.
Do you need to be a top tier best picture contender to win score though?
I'm not talking about score. I'm just talking about period. At the end of the night, you're predicting Women Talking to win 2, and Fabelmans is struggling to get 1, and yet 1 is a much stronger contender than the other.
Yeah, I mean, what's a good example? 2019. What are some movies that won 2 in 2019? Because The Irishman got 0.
Irishman got 0, which I hate to say, there could be a world where that's The Fabelmans.
Yeah, I mean, Fabelmans will probably lead nominations, like The Irishman did. Oh, wait, no, Joker led nominations that year.
Joker led nominations with 11.
That's insane.
But, I mean, listen, with the way it's going, Everything Everywhere could surprise and lead nominations. Babylon could lead nominations.
Like Ford v Ferrari was like number 9 in picture, and it won 2 Oscars, and the Irishman won none, but was a bigger contender in picture. That's
true. Ford v Ferrari, the issue, which is the most opposite movie I feel you could have picked.
I'm comparing Women Talking to Ford v Ferrari, you know.
But as far as the Golden Globe nominations overall, which now we can probably get into.
We can move on to the Golden Globes. Yes.
Aside from like 1 or 2, I feel like just Best Actress in a Drama is really their only category where I was like, okay.
Donna Darma's pick.
All right. Yeah, I mean, listen,
she's good in the movie. It's just a terrible film. She's very good in the movie. She was.
But I actually like these picks. I like that Triangle of Sadness was the 5th Best Picture Musical or Comedy pick. I really liked seeing Everything Everywhere overperform. I thought the overperformance of Banshees was great. RRR getting 2 nominations, I believe. Mm-hmm. You know, there was some.
It's really just Women Talking Women Talking and Daniel Dead Weather that were disappointing. I mean, Best
Angela
Picture.
Bassett. This was the first place to honor Bassett, so I was very happy about that.
Yeah, I think we did pretty well prediction wise as well. Most people weren't predicting Bassett, and we both had it.
I got 70% correct, I think.
I missed I think I got 12 overall wrong, not like categories, but singular nominations. Mm-hmm. I forget. But yeah, drama, the nominees were Avatar, Elvis, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Top Gun. I think Avatar is going to win this. Avatar or Elvis?
It's too
One of
early.
those two.
I will make
One
my
of
decision.
those two. I mean, it happens in like the second week of January. So is it too early?
Yes, it is too early. I have to process. The Globes are a questionable beast, especially this year
They
with
are.
a new voting body.
Elvis got more nominations than Bohemian Rhapsody, though. It did here, and that won. So who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like you mentioned, Triangle Sadness got that last spot in motion picture comedy with Glass Onion, Everything Everywhere, Banshees in Babylon, Everything Everywhere, or maybe Banshees wins this. They liked Banshees. It's between those two. I'll say Banshees wins this.
I mean, listen, I could see a world where Banshees win this, but then Everything Everywhere wins Best Picture, like how Grand Budapest Hotel won this category, and then Birdman went on to win Best Picture.
Yeah.
I could see a world where that happens because of how much love Banshees has. But it doesn't. Vice led the nominations its year with 6 nominations and then lost to Green Book. So it depends.
Yeah.
Did In Bruges win for McDonough? I mean, Three Billboards won.
No, McDonough. Three Billboards did not win.
Yes,
McDonough only for what?
Three Billboards won Best Screenplay, Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, or no, Best.
Oh, at the Globes. I thought you meant at the Oscars.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think Three Billboards won Best Picture, Musical or Comedy, Best Screenplay, Best Actress in a Musical or Comedy, and Best Supporting Actor. They won 4.
Yes.
So if In Bruges
They
did
like
well
McDonough.
here, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So maybe
McDonough's like a good Tarantino, very distinct style. And
what
if
do
you
you
like
have
it, you
against
like it.
Quentin Tarantino?
And the stuff that man says just annoys me. He's got a large ego. I don't like that. He makes some good movies.
You don't like a large ego, then why are you talking about Hollywood movies?
Yeah, but his is like just so larger compared to others. I also haven't seen a lot of his movies, so I need to fill those gaps.
Come on.
Catch up. I know Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, all that fun stuff.
You haven't seen Pulp Fiction?
No, I have
Oh
not.
my God.
That's
What a
probably one
boy.
of my biggest misses in history of film. We already talked about director. We both expected Baz to get in. I know that was a surprise for some people, but it was not for us. We just touched on actress and motion picture drama. We wish Daniel Day Butler got in there, but sadly didn't.
I wonder if with her performance, because I think what we're seeing in Michelle Yeoh's nominations across the board, in Kate Blanchett's nominations, Margot Robbie's, you could argue Janelle Monáe, Angela Bassett, Dolly De Leon. There's something surprising about these performances, and I think when people think of the Emmett Till biopic, Daniel Deadwyler delivers that movie what is necessary, and it's great. I think it's the question of whether the movie motivates you to honor it in a special way, in a way that you haven't nominated other performances of its like.
I just don't think that they watched the movie, if I'm being honest.
Well,
all these other films are big contenders overall, even The Woman King. And I think there are lots of voters who are probably like, the biopic about the mother of Emmett Till, that sounds depressing. Oh, it's not contending for anything else outside of Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, it's definitely a low priority screener starring an actor that most people do not recognize. And when you have Ana de Armas and Viola Davis, who have both been nominated and won Golden Globes, it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense for her to get in. I just think we just thought so many people thought that performance was like completely
incredible.
It's incredible, definitely, but like that they thought she was definitely one of those top contenders. Like I was even predicting back when I saw like, oh, this could win. Back when I thought Till could be a Best Picture contender.
If everyone in the Academy saw the movie, she would be in contention for a win. It's just the fact that the movie is not going to be seen widely.
Yeah.
Sadly. Nothing too crazy in actor. We mentioned Tom Cruise missed. Jeremy Pope taking his spot. That's a nice call out for that film. Yeah. Hugh Jackman also got in for The Sun. That's worth mentioning. We both predicted that, but I don't think that she'll carry over to the Oscars, but who knows?
That movie's been dead silent. I haven't heard a single
releases in mid-January.
Not an FYC ad, nada.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Sony Pictures Classic, I think, has completely changed their priority to Bill Nighy and Living. So yeah. Best performance by an actress, motion picture, musical, or comedy. Nothing too crazy here either. I think Leslie Manville just took Julie Roberts' spot, is what we had predicted.
And I'm happy as much as I love Julia Roberts, but Leslie Manville is so good. Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is like in contention for like an honorable
They saw
mention,
that
like
movie.
top 10.
They watched that movie and not Till.
I mean, I
This
think I
one's
like
happier.
I liked Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris more than Till. I thought it was a
I haven't seen
delightful,
it, so I can't say.
lovely little movie. If you need a nice matinee movie to watch on your holiday,
Should I prioritize Pulp Fiction or Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris?
double
Which
feature.
one?
Double
Double
feature.
feature.
They
Okay,
work
then
well. They
whichever.
balance each
Okay,
other out
yeah.
quite nicely.
Okay. Okay.
But yes,
Double
I
feature.
mean, Leslie Manville and Isabelle Huppert. How can you go wrong? And Jason Isaacs. It's a great cast.
That is a good cast. Yeah. Actor, musical, or comedy. Diego Calva, Daniel Craig, Adam Driver, Colin Farrell, Ray Fiennes. I think it's Adam Driver took what we predicted to be the other Adam Sandler's spot.
Yeah. Which, star of the upcoming 65.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Oh my God.
hopefully one of these
Looks
days Adam
interesting.
Driver can get a big hit on his resume.
It's gonna be in that Ferrari movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully it turns out better than Gucci.
Oh my God. Don't remind me.
Yeah, let's forget that. Poor Adam Driver.
Poor Adam Driver.
Yeah. He'll get an Oscar someday, Supporting actress, they went with Angela Bassett, Carrie Conn, and Jamie Lee Curtis, Dolly DeLeon, and Carey Mulligan. Yeah. The start of the Angela Bassett train. Dolly DeLeon is very much possible at the Oscars. She would.
Oh yeah.
I'm considering putting her in my 5. There's just so many options. What is your supporting actress 5?
Right now,
Yeah, right now.
Bassett,
Yeah.
Condon, Curtis.
Yeah.
I'll throw Dolly in. I think we're gonna want a nice indie pick.
None of the women talking after this.
I feel like they're gonna cancel each other out. People are not gonna know who to vote for, and then they don't vote for any of them.
It's possible.
I don't know, man. I mean, let's see what happens with SAG. Let's see what happens with SAG. Because I could see a world where Everything Everywhere is so beloved that Stephanie gets in a Jesse Plemons type move.
Yeah,
I think it's possible. I think it's real possible.
I would say probably Condon. I think Buckley seems now more likely than Foy, if I'm being honest. If I'm going to pick one of them, I should probably pick Buckley.
Or it becomes the trend. Well, Buckley is Oscar nominated for The Lost Daughter.
Yeah, Foy isn't. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a
She's got
Belfast
more nominations so far this season than Foy does.
That's true. We got to see the movie. We got to see the movie, and then we'll decide.
Condon, Buckley, Monet. I'd probably say then Bassett and Dolly DeLeon, probably.
I love that Angela Bassett's in. Just love that.
She could miss, but it's the supporting actress category is just insane.
Yeah, watch that. Somebody will find this clip and then be like, haha. But I'm very happy for her. I'm very happy for her. She's so deserving as an actor. And for this movie.
Only one nomination, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supporting actor, the one with Gleason, Kyogen, Pitt, Ki Kwan, and Eddie Redmayne. Eddie Redmayne is an interesting choice, but that's a very Globes choice.
I can't.
Exactly.
I can't.
The Globes just eat that stuff up.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ki Kwan's gonna win. Did you see Harrison Ford's quote today?
He said he's terrific.
Yeah.
As he is.
He's so good.
Everyone loves him.
Listen, I know we're not that far removed from the Chadwick Boseman kerfuffle. But I really think we should get Harrison Ford to present.
Well, that's just Ki Kwan's gonna win everywhere. Chadwick Boseman didn't win everywhere.
He won everywhere but BAFTA.
Exactly. Ki Kwan, who knows if he'll win BAFTA, but I think he probably will.
Who's the Brit that could win? I mean, Brendan Gleeson could win.
True, or even Keegan.
You think Barry Keoghan could win?
Maybe. The BAFTAs can be weird sometimes.
Is that who you meant by Keegan? Am I missing something?
Yeah, I never know how to say his name. Is it BK. Keegan? Is it Keoghan? Is it Kean?
I was like, is Keegan Michael Key nominated for something?
Michael Key. He is. Yeah, and then other categories. I don't think there's anything really in the tech categories. How about song? Do you think Taylor Swift is getting in for song? She got Critics' Choice and Golden Globes.
That would be crazy if she got in two categories for best live action short and best original song.
Oh, God, I hope she. No offense, Taylor Swift, I love you. One of your biggest fans. You should not get in for short. Music videos.
Well directed short. If
It was very well directed. I just think that's a category where we honor up and coming directors and their shorts and like give them a spotlight rather, because if like we make music videos eligible, I mean, as we saw with the Rizamed last year, it always helps when you have a name attached to these shorts. And I think then it's just going to be Taylor Swift wins this year, and then it's just going to be how musical artists win their Oscars by doing music videos.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, that's true, and I think that's a fair argument. But I also think that at some point, you know, I think we do a disservice when we have to delineate things. You know, why animated films will never be a real contender for Best Picture. You know, we're seeing that with Pinocchio. It's why international feature, like I don't know. I'm like, listen, if you tell a good story, that's all that I think should matter. She told a great story. It's a great 10-minute short film. So, you know, to each their own. But I agree. I wouldn't want it to set a trend where we're now, it's like Lady Gaga and Selena Gomez and all these like pop stars are getting in. At that point, then just make a new category. But for now, given that this is the first, you know, because I will say, I think since like, I don't know, this seems like more cinematic than most music. Like this reminds me more of like the Michael Jackson
10 minutes plus long.
Yeah. So you know, it's not like a traditional, you know, and pop stars don't need Oscars, you know. I think Taylor Swift specifically wants one, and that's why she's fighting for it.
Yeah, and she's directing a movie. Maybe she'll win for that.
Amsterdam 2.
No, it'll be better than Amsterdam. I have faith in her.
I didn't see it. I
haven't seen it either. I just know it's terrible. It's in my brain. That's pretty much it for the Globes. LAFCA announced their winners with this probably second biggest critics association. Best Picture tied between Everything Everywhere All at Once and Tar. Makes sense.
As it should be.
Those are usually two probably critic favorites right there. Director went to Todd Field for Tar, and the runner-up was SS Rajamouli for RRR. I think he could get in there. Is he in your he's not, I just didn't say he was in my 5. He'd be my number 6. I'd honestly have him above Polly, probably.
He's in like the 7 to 9 realm.
I added him on Gold Derby.
Todd Field is my 6.
Good odds.
Well, no, it's either Baz Luhrmann or Todd Field. I'm still debating who I put in. Well, we'll see. He didn't get it.
Just so much better than the other.
Listen. If we're gonna start,
doesn't matter. I know
preference. Then my good lord, like Jordan Peele would be in this conversation. You know, what do you want from me?
He should be. Yeah,
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On would be a Best Picture contender if we were doing this based on my personal metric.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good. Yeah,
leading performances. They went with Cate Blanchett and Bill Nighy. Good boost for Bill Nighy there. The runners up were Daniel Day-Lewis for Till and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Nothing to really say there. Supporting performances: Dolly DeLeon get another nomination, Ki-hee Kwan, and then your runners up were Jessie Buckley and Brian Tyree Henry. Another case of Jessie Buckley over Claire Foy. So if you're gonna predict a woman talking supporting actress,
it's the opposite of the Angela Bassett campaign, where it's like they were pushing Claire Foy. She was on the covers of magazines.
They're pushing Claire Foy, yeah.
It's Jessie Buckley. Like it's like Disney has been very like assured in how it's campaigning this category. Women talking seems to be like throwing darts. How about this? How about this magazine? How about this interview? Like one of them, can they stick?
I mean, from the people I've seen the movie, which are the people voting on this, it seems like Jessie Buckley is.
So it's weird because she's the Oscar nominee. Why then are they pushing Claire Foy? It's not like she's the. I mean, The Crown really that big a show that they think that will bring people.
It might just be availability. Like maybe Claire Foy is more available than Jessie Buckley right now to campaign.
To take a picture on a magazine cover. Yeah. What does Jessie Buckley do? Like Jessie Buckley isn't Robert Downey.
Maybe she's secretly in Dune Part 2.
That's wrapped. They're done.
I know, but it just happened. That Claire Foy thing was happening while Dune Part 2 was shooting.
If Austin Butler can offer to take Janelle Monáe to Disneyland on Variety, Jessie Buckley can pose for a picture.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Dune Part 2. Side note, incredible.
Oh, are you?
Win all the Oscars, yeah. Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, Timothy Chalamet, Zendaya, Javier Bardem, Rebecca Ferguson, Denis.
Yeah, we got it. We understand. We got it.
I just don't understand anyone who doesn't have that as their number one most anticipated for next year. But
It's my number 5.
mm,
I have
wow.
Barbie.
At least that would be my number 2. So that's fair.
Because this is the thing. Dune Part 1 is great, and I've seen it, so I know what he's capable of. But Barbie, come
Barbie
on.
is a true
That's a
mystery.
true, unique vision. I
Wild
can't wait.
card.
All right, stay on tack. Did I say
Stay on tack. Task. After Sun won for best editing. Now it's really just the text.
They make good editing picks.
They did. I mean, production design, Avatar won, score, RRR won. Do you think that could get nominated for score?
Sure.
There's some open spots.
Anything's possible to get a nomination.
I know, but is it likely?
Except for like Jurassic World Dominion for best actor,
Yeah, true.
Maybe for best locus.
Yeah, my God.
But yeah, but sure. If it's in the conversation and there's enough love for it, yeah.
Yeah, Todd Fields won screenplay here over
possible.
He's possible. Yeah. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed won documentary. EO won foreign film. Interesting. It also won cinematography, I believe. Yeah. So
Decision to Leave is your runner-up, correct?
For which one?
International.
For international. No, it was Saint Omer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a race.
Yeah.
Can they do a write-in ballot on RRR?
They should try. India, just whoever made that decision, you really messed up.
Yeah, it's called Titan syndrome.
Yeah, or Portrait of the Lady on Fire syndrome.
France. Yeah, I guess that can France. The
French. Always picking the wrong movies. They picked Titan, so I'll give them that. I'll give them that much.
Oh, they did, and then it missed.
They picked it just missed.
Oh, you're right. They did believe in it for a little bit. And then everybody was mad because when it didn't get it, then we were like, oh, France will never do it again.
They're never gonna pick the right
Come back to me. Come back.
Yep. The flashbacks, the PTSD. NBR released their awards. Top Gun Maverick won film, Steven Spielberg won director, Farrell actor, Michelle Yeoh actress, Brendan Gleeson actor, supporting actress Janelle Monáe, OG screenplay, Banshees, adapted screenplay, All Quiet.
This is the National Board of Review. It should be noted they are not critics. But yeah, good for Top
Nothing
Gun.
too crazy. I don't think Top Gun's going to win picture or anything, but I could see any of the other ones.
If Top Gun Maverick wins the Producers Guild, I think it could win Best Picture.
It'll be in my top 5.
Tom Cruise is winning the David O. Selznick Award this year from the Producers Guild. So if he, as Green Book did, if Top Gun can win Producers Guild, there is a path. It is my number 2 currently.
It'd be like my number 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see a distinguishable difference in the trajectory of Top Gun to the trajectory of Avatar.
I think they're gonna split text with each other. I think that makes neither of them likely to win picture.
I do think I think
for a blockbuster.
I agree that the strength of Avatar, the fact that Avatar will get a director nomination over Top Gun, is going to cut a little bit away from it, which then leaves the Fabelmans and Everything Everywhere to really battle it out.
And Banshees. I think Banshees.
And Banshees, you're right. And Banshees.
AFI released their top 10 movies of the year. Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Nope, She Said, Top Gun Maverick, Tar, The Woman King, and Woman Talking. Nope is an incredible shout out here. Deserved. One of the top 3 films of the year.
It's in my top 5.
Top 3. I haven't seen everything.
You haven't seen Babylon, which is
I haven't seen Babylon. I don't know if
I will
top
be
3.
Shocked if that makes it your top 3.
Yeah. 3 hours.
Yeah. So, but Nope is very good. I love Nope.
I love Nope as well. Yeah. And there's worth mentioning their special award is going to the Banshees of Inisherin, which is not eligible for that top 10 because it's not an American film.
Which is it's always weird because it always takes me a second. I'm like, why is that? Oh, it's not American.
Yeah. It's Irish.
So let me pull up this stat. I believe there always is like a couple of contenders that doesn't really hit a lot of like NPR, AFI, like these type of things.
Yeah.
Like Drive My Car, The Father, Bohemian Rhapsody, Vice, Darkest Hour. So there are a couple that are floating in that
There's usually
area.
one or two in these top 10 that don't make it into picture, but it's usually at least 7 or 8 of these that make it into picture.
I agree that I would say there's a very strong 8, probably 9 with Woman Talking. I'm not,
Women Talking would be your 9. Wow. Yeah. I think
Woman
there's a
Talking is
strong
definitely
9.
my 9. Woman Talk. I feel very strongly about the top 8. Um,
I think
but
Women Talking and Babylon are close. If we're being
I
honest.
think they're close. Let's see what the Rotten Tomato score and the Metacritic is. Because listen, I'm in my bubble. I love this movie. I think it's great, and I've talked to other people who really enjoyed it. But that thing can turn real fast.
Yeah.
So I think it's fitting that the two movies we haven't seen, or the majority haven't seen, are
Yes.
8 and 9. Um,
Avatar's secured itself.
Avatar is number 6 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, I'd have it probably 7.
What's 7? Or
Elvis, maybe?
maybe Avatar is 7.
I'd
I
have
don't know.
Elvis high as well.
Elvis is very high. Elvis is very
Yeah.
strong. Craft, performance, maybe director.
Look
It's
at
the
us.
Warner
You're
Brothers.
predicting Elvis now. I'm predicting Bassett.
I
Everyone's come
know.
around.
We really. It's called. It's a
Balance each
character.
other out. Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Um, any so yeah. Did you say what your 10 in picture is? If there's a 9 secure?
I think Triangle of Sadness or The Woman King.
Okay, I would say Triangle of Sadness or Glass Onion.
So
Because I think both
Nelson.
of those are very possible for screenplay and supporting actress.
Yeah, I think we're predicting the same thing. It's either Glass Onion gets picture, supporting actress, and adapted screenplay, or Triangle of Sadness gets picture, supporting actress, and original screenplay.
Yeah, and Glass
That
Onion
is
is
the
secure in
package.
screenplay, whereas Triangle is not.
That is true. But
So
Triangle would be secure if it was an adapted screenplay.
it would be, yes.
So I don't know
Most
how
of the screenplays are original this year. Good
Yeah,
year for original films.
great. I
Yeah.
love that it's funny because this is such the sequel year, but at the same time, we have so many really great original movies. I do think this is a great year for movies.
Yeah, I agree. An even better year for TV, if we're being honest. A great year for
I am
TV.
so behind on television. It is not. I'm still halfway through House of the Dragon. I'm still halfway through.
That's
I'm a
insane.
third of
Watch The Bear also.
I'm a third through Severance, so I gotta catch up.
Wow. Yeah. Both of
I
those
was
are great
watching
shows.
Tarantino movies. This is what happens.
It's okay. The Emmys aren't for like another 7 months. So
Oh, good
we've got
Lord.
time to catch up. We got
I gotta watch
Succession too.
Wednesday. I gotta watch Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a decent show as well. It's a
All
little
right.
CW, but it's fun.
And when we start talking about TV, that means we have wrapped up our conversation.
Yeah. I do have one final question for you. What are your visual effects 5? Do you think RRR can get that?
It's between RRR and Black Panther for the 5th spot.
Okay, yeah, I would have Avatar, I'd have the Batman, I'd have Top Gun, I'd have Everything Ever All at Once. And then
I don't
I'd
know, because
probably
what is Batman gonna get that besides visual effects? It could get
makeup,
sound and could get makeup.
sound.
Maybe.
There's a lot of respect behind that movie, I think. Warner Brothers is pushing it pretty hard too, because they've really only got Elvis. So they're like, might as well push some Batman stuff.
I don't know. I think Black Panther will definitely have more nominations than the Batman. So I don't know if they just then check it off. And also, it's the only Marvel movie in contention, and usually they do get a nomination. I forget the last
Get at
time
least
they
one.
were nominated.
Been a while, I would think.
They got to go back to like 2015 with Age of Ultron and Ant-Man both missing. But that's because Disney was really pushing Star Wars. So,
yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, I'd say between Wakanda Forever and RRR for that last spot. But RRR does not need to get visual effects to be a picture contender, as we mentioned. So
the fact that Shang-Chi and Spider-Man both got in last year makes me think that maybe Black Panther will be able to eke it out.
Yeah, that's true. I think RRR could honestly win song. That would be my top 3 there. Rihanna
Black Panther,
or Not To.
Top Gun, Maverick, then Not To. With a very, I would say, a very healthy distance between that top 2 and Not To.
I don't think Lady Gaga's winning, for being honest. But
I've always said that I think the amount of use, like they made the score ineligible because of how often they repeat how Hold My Hand and the other themes. So, we'll see. But I think
she's in my 3.
That song is definitely the most heard, I would argue.
Probably, yeah.
Anyway, where can they find you, Mr. Jack?
Right here on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment your thoughts on everything we talked about down below. Stay tuned for there's going to be a crazy upcoming January and everything. I'll be reviewing and giving my top 10 of the year, all that fun stuff. And also Oscar Film SC on Twitter. I don't really use what's it called? Hive anymore.
We
So,
forgot.
yeah.
Vine.
It's dead.
Come follow us on Vine.
Yeah. How about you?
I'm at Anthony_post, Twitter, Instagram, Letterbox, and Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post on YouTube.
Yeah.
I got my Babylon review later this week.
Yeah. Plenty of reviews coming. Lots of stuff happening in December. Avatar this upcoming week. So yeah, stay tuned for all the fun.